I was married for 13 years. Beautiful wife with 2 kids. My ex-wife was in the military. I was in the military myself. I ended up getting married, getting a job, losing a job after making about $150,000 a year, losing a job because my wife got moved, and that's what started the downfall of our marriage. After about 3 years of trying to, get the love back, we decided to split, and I went my way, she went her way. I decided to move forward with the business, and basically the thought process was either you stay with me or I'm gonna make your life miserable. I'm gonna take your kids, I'm gonna, take your money, your business, I'm gonna take your vehicles, etc. So, of course, I had to hire a lawyer. That was $10,000. I was on my own. I ended up homeless for a while. I was living in my shop. I have a print shop. I actually lived there for about 2 months, sleeping. We had rats in there. So many nights I woke up, looking around and nervous that it was a rat by my damn head. During the process, it was a point where I felt like it was time to give up. It was a point where I decided I'm not gonna make it out this hole. I'm too deep. That point was when I looked at my bank account and saw that it was $2,000 negative, and it was like the 28th. I decided I wasn't gonna make it out. Like, I was too far, I was too deep. I never really asked anybody for help, and I decided to call my mother, which I never asked her for. I've been on my own since I was 18, right out of high school, I was on my own. So it hurt my pride, it hurt my heart to have to ask somebody or tell somebody, I'm doing bad. The one time I did ask my mother for help, she was there for me. I think she felt my pain. I've never asked her for money my whole life. And she sent me $10,000, no questions asked. Having somebody in my life that was able to help me build my motivation again, because I had lost all motivation for anything good. And at that time, I was at the lowest I had ever been. So I think it's important to have people around you that believe in you and that are, willing to help.
So what type of mom did you have? What type of teaching did she give you?
My mother is very much independent, and I don't trust anybody. Yeah, even me. She don't even trust me. And she's definitely a go-getter. So she speaks action. She's an inspiration in itself, because my father wasn't around, and she raised 2 kids. My sister's deaf, so that was a struggle for her, etc. I often ask her how she stays motivated, or how she stayed motivated with a badass kid like me. But a lot of the things that she learned in her journey, she passed on to me. And I think that's what has made me, like, I have like a Kevlar jacket to this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
You graduated with honors.
For real. Like, my life has gone like this, but even if your life does this, you have to be able to stand tall, right? And you got to be able to deal with it emotionally, spiritually, physically, because, the world try to break you down all 3 parts.
One of the issues that you had with your wife was she discredited you, you said, and you started believing that. Like, talk to me about that.
Well, what I was telling you was I didn't feel the support in that she believed in me. And I didn't realize at the time how important that was. So, if you have somebody in your life that's telling you can't do it, you remember that movie Precious? Where she said, you ain't shit, you ain't never gonna be shit, da da da. That has an effect on especially a child and also an adult, especially if it's constant, if it's every day. Coming home while I was married for 13 years, there was a lot of times where I decided, I said, hey, I'm gonna start my business. I'm gonna get this thing going. You know, I know how to, I've been printing out the garage, you know, all this time. And she would act like, come on, like, you know what I mean? So you're gonna leave $100,000 job to start a t-shirt business? I mean, one of the things she said in the divorce was, good luck with them t-shirts. You know what I mean? And that was motivation. That type of stuff, I think, definitely has a way of bringing you down emotionally and spiritually. So if you don't check it, or if you're not aware. So, you know, one of the stories that I tell was, you know, I had a meeting with DirecTV, and, you know, I worked hard trying to get this meeting. Guy's name was Andy. He said, F it, come on, let's do the meeting. They wanted to buy some t-shirts. And I came home and I was excited to tell her, you know, I'm thinking I got my business off the ground. I got DirecTV. You know what I mean? She like totally busted my bubble. Like, you didn't take the trash out though. You need to take this trash out, fuck them shirts, you know, take this trash out and we got a bill to pay. You know, that just like sucked the wind out of me. I was like, fuck. You know, like, all right, who can I tell that'll be excited? It's important that the people that surround you believe in you, because after a while of hearing that, after a long time of failure, trying to get these meetings and not buying shit, you know what I mean? Or they bought 10 shirts and told me to go on now, you know, etc. After a while of that, you know, I'm like, maybe she right. Maybe this t-shirt shit is some bullshit. You know, maybe I should give up this print game, because maybe she right, there ain't no money in this print game. I've been doing this for 2 years and I haven't made it anywhere yet. You know what I mean? So, you know, after going through the divorce and going through all that stuff, I realize how invasive that was to my brain, you know, to my mental, like that soaked in. And, you know, that's one of those things that you can't, you know, some people call it intangible. It's one of those things that you can't put your finger on. You know, it's like a snake. It slowly creeps up on you. And the next thing you know, you're fucking depressed.
And that's one thing about stuff like that, is that once you start hearing something negative, you start identifying with whatever someone say negative. That's why I am very keen on making sure that I don't let nobody talk about anybody I know that's around me. I know that people are not cool sometimes and people may have some type of conflict, but when you're around me, you can't speak nonsense on nobody, because the moment they say something and then you see within that person, you'll start connecting what they said and you'll think of it as a negative trait because you allowed this person to speak on somebody that you were supposed to protect. I remember I was working at eFinancial, which is a company that deals with selling life insurance. I was finally killing it. Like the first day out of 20, while I was in first place in sales in that company. And I said one wrong thing, and the boss, because he's so used to me messing up, right when I said one wrong thing, which I said, how can I help you versus how can we help you? He came, hit my desk. How can you do something so stupid? You should not do that. The lady's still on the phone with me. How can you do something so stupid? You are not supposed to say, it's we. How many times I gotta tell you? The moment that happened, my confidence went down. I went from first place with 3 hours left to last place.
Yeah.
And it just shows you that when you're around people that takes away energy from you and suck the life out of you, it is more than just them talking. It literally affects the actions and the quality of service that you do. So in order for you to protect the service that you have to make sure that you eliminate certain things, certain people, and anybody that carries type of negativity. And sadly, it was a divorce for you, but that divorce led to you becoming, one of the most known printing companies that's in Phoenix, Arizona, and doing his thing. Like this guy right here is doing amazing things in many different endeavors, but his printing company is like just astounding. Like I got some of my shirts from him.
Your shirts that say,
I am Supamann.
Right, there you go. That's a shameless plug.